I had nothing to do with it.
Tell
This
the
is such
fucking
bullshit.
truth for
You've
once.
always been a bit of a powder keg. It was only a matter of time before something like this happened. Maybe I should have kept an eye on him. But can you really blame me for what happened?
Of course we can. Any of you actually believe this bullshit?
Holly, please.
Tell them, Bigby. When you finally showed up at my door last night, wasn't I more than helpful? I answered your questions. I was willing to cooperate.
What's he talking about?
Yeah, and your goons attacked me. Did you forget that part?
They get a bit carried away sometimes, it's true. Loyal to the end. They do it because they want to protect me, as I protected them. You understand wanting to protect what you care about, don't you? You'd do anything. You might even give up an innocent man, just to save someone.
I really hope you're going somewhere with this.
I see, you want to cut right to the point. I can appreciate that. Let me explain this to you. My employees are just that, hired help. I see some of them are here among you. They are not my slaves. They are all free to make their own decisions, as Georgie was.
What about Lily? She wasn't free. She wasn't given a choice. Do you really think she wanted... that any of those girls wanted their lives like that?
I'm sorry, Holly. I'm sorry that your sister asked me for help, and I'm sorry that I decided against my better judgment to give her a distasteful job.
Right, and you kept them in debt so they couldn't leave.
Yeah. That's what you did to us. How you kept us all
You
in line.
forget it was not me who put you in that position. You all act like I'm some kind of tyrant. When your government abandoned you, left you poor and helpless, sniveling on street corners, I was there to look out for you.
Yes, but...
Wasn't I?
We've had our problems and we've made mistakes, but we don't actively exploit people to serve our own ends.
Really? What about Auntie Greenleaf? Her story is not uncommon. She left everything she had back in the homelands. Everything that mattered, anyway. With nowhere else to turn, she came to me for help. And what did I do for you?
You got my tree back.
I got her tree back, and in turn we used her magic to help poor Fables get glamours. Because I helped her, she was able to make a living, provide for herself. And what did they do?
She wanted my tree destroyed, but Bigby refused.
What?
You were gonna burn her tree? Snow, why would you want that?
Is that true?
Snow?
I know. Snow made a mistake.
I had very good reasons for asking you to do that. She was working with Crane and the Crooked Man.
It wasn't her fault.
You can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me. You hated Crane, and you hated him for wanting to fuck you, and you being too soft to notice what he'd do to get it. It had nothing to do with the Crooked Man.
We've made some mistakes. I've made some mistakes. But believe me, I truly want what's best for this town. And that may not always be clear right away. But I want you all to know that I care deeply about all of you. And so does the sheriff.
Yeah, right.
I can't promise you perfection. No one can. But I can promise to always have your best interests at heart.
Like you did with her?
Maybe you haven't noticed, but we've been doing all this to protect you. We're trying to stop people like him.
The Crooked Man's been exploiting you. Exploiting your hope for a better life. You would go to him for help, and he would take that weakness and add it to his strength. And if things didn't fall exactly his way, someone would die.
He took Faith and Lily from us. And while we can never get them back, we can certainly punish who's responsible.
They're right.
You're all still afraid of him, even now. But you needn't be. His contamination of this town is over, and those girls will have their justice.
Very good, very good. The sentiment is surely appreciated, Miss White. But it doesn't disguise the fact that these accusations are completely unfounded. The sheriff simply doesn't have a particle of evidence linking me to the...
Georgie was working for you. Bigby got a
A
confession
confession that nobody heard. Now, I'm no barrister, but I think such a statement would carry more weight if Bigby weren't the only one to whom Georgie spoke. Especially given Bigby's history.
What are you talking about?
Snow?
And what about your history? All you've done to this fucking town?
What do you mean there's no evidence?
Maybe he's... I mean, this doesn't feel right, how we're doing this. I just
Of
need...
course it's right. This man tormented all of you, for profit. Georgie
Let me
killed
just
him.
make sure I understand you. You're trying to say that I'm responsible for what Georgie did, because he was working for me at the time, yes?
Yes.
Of course! Where are you going with this?
Well, by that logic, Miss White should be on trial for Tweedledum's murder, since you know Bigby works for her.
That's...
He killed a man,
That don't make him a murderer.
doesn't it?
For fuck's sake, killing someone who's trying to kill you is
They were
hardly...
there to retrieve Crane. You didn't need to escalate things.
Me! It was them! And who sent those two freaks anyway?
Bigby and I have already discussed his behavior that night. We're handling it
Now, where have I
internally.
heard that before? How about the way he treated the poor woodsman when he was in your custody? He was beaten to mashed apples while under your watch.
Under my watch.
Maybe he's right.
Did you think we'd all just let that go?
You can't be serious.
That was different.
What? You think you shouldn't be held accountable?
Snow had nothing to do with it. We all thought she was dead.
Besides,